Yes, it worked.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's get start. I think that we are already on YouTube. So good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, people who follow us on YouTube. We are here for another English immersion with me as a facilitator, as a host. As you know, firstly, I'm gonna give you a little overview of how Talk and Talk works. So, Talk and Talk is a language platform where you can practice and you can learn different language, such as English that we are doing right now, French, Italian, German, Portuguese that it's coming, and Mandarin. So, something so important about this platform is that we don't have teachers. So, it's an important disclaimer. I am not an English teacher. I work in a so different area. I'm here just for leading or guiding the conversation. Another thing that is important is that here it's not a regular class, an English class, so we are not gonna teach and we are not gonna learn uh, grammar part of English. We are just gonna use the English information or the English knowledge that we already have in our minds. And another thing that is important to mention is that we try to create a safe environment where we don't feel afraid about making mistakes. So if you don't feel afraid to make mistakes because we understand that it's something normal and something natural when we are learning something new. So we normally start with a self-presentation, and then we start with our today's subject that it's failures. And in personal opinion, it's an interesting topic to talk about. And after our self-presentation, I'm gonna divide our immersion into rooms because I think we can leverage more the time to for having more time to talk about this topic. Okay, so we're gonna start with you, Pedro. Pedrito, can you please introduce yourself to us?
Sure. So my name is Pedrito. I'm 36 years old. I live in Santa Maria, Rio Grande do Sul. I'm married and I have a daughter. She is 9 years old, and we have two cats too. I am a DevOps engineer, and in my free time, I like to go outside if the weather is good and enjoy with my family. I'm here in Talk Talk since June this year to basically to improve my speaking in English.
Thank you so much, and you are doing so well. So I'm happy to have you here in my English immersion. Let's move on with you, Sydney. Please go ahead and introduce yourself to us.
Surely. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sydney. Currently, I live in Belo Horizonte, that vibrant and green city, where I've built my professional and personal life. I work as an accountant. I love that career because I can use my abilities of finance, problem solving, and organization, and to maintain the financial business in order. Uh, what else? I'm married with my wife. We had a 6 years old boy, and he's now in a stage that makes us on our toes with his curiosity and energy. And for me, being a father is one of the most fulfilled part of my life. And I love when I have time to spend with my son, playing some games with him, and even to watch him grow healthy. And what else? In my free time, I like to watch movies, watch TV series, read the articles and books in English. I'm a curious person, so that for me that's a key to I think to improve our knowledge and many abilities. So that is, guys, a little about me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sydney. Go ahead, please, Fernanda. Introduce yourself to us.
Hello, guys. I'm Fernanda. I'm from São Paulo. Nowadays, I work as a Spanish teacher. In my free time, I like to spend time with family, watch TV shows, study foreign languages. And I'm a calm person, a little bit shy, and I think that's it about me.
Thank you so much, Fernanda. What about you, Everton? Please introduce yourself to us.
Hello, guys. I'm Everton. I am 43 years old. I'm living in São Paulo. I am married and I have a daughter. She's 15 years old. I work with IT. I am a coordinator in e-commerce, and in my free time, I like to watch a movie and series with my family and drink a beer with my friends. I think it's that. Thank you.
Happy to have you here again, Everton. And finally, please, Ayla, introduce yourself to us.
Okay, good afternoon, guys. My name is Ayla. I'm from Belém, and I've been in this process of improving my English skills since 2020, and I'm here in this, and I try to improve day by day, and to improve especially my confidence. This, I consider it a good thing for me. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayla. And finally, me. Hello, guys. My name is Christian Jimenez. I am from Bolivia. I currently live here in Brazil, in Curitiba, Paraná. I'm 36. I'm married. I'm here as well, like you, for enhancing or boosting my English knowledge. Uh, Let me see what else. I love learning other language as well. I'm currently trying to learn French here in the platform. I think that's it a little bit about me. So let's break up our immersion into rooms. So I think that I'm gonna send to the other room to Pedrito, Cine, and Ayla. And here in the main room, we will be Fernanda and Everton and me. Okay? So just let me do that. I'm gonna do this manually. So I set Ayla, Pedrito, and Cine to the other room. Pedrito, Cine. So see you guys in around or in about 45 minutes. I'm gonna get you back uh, to finish our immersion together. So have fun and respect each other. So let's start with the first question. So as I already said, we are going to talk about failures. Maybe it's something that almost anyone likes to talk about or expose the failures that we have committed or we have done in our life. But it's important important to face them, and talking about them it's a good way to do that. So let's start with the first question, and it goes like this: what has been your most significant failure, and what did you learn from it? We can talk about one specific failure that we remember, or maybe the last one that you consider your a failure. So I'm gonna start with you, Fernanda. Can you talk about last significant failure that you've done or you've had?
I thought about one I had at work when I used to work as a financial analyst, and once I forgot to pay a significant tax for the company, and after some weeks, they discovered and paid a large amount of taxes about this payment. And I learned a lot from situation because I saw that I needed to have more attention about it. And for me, it was something that was like a mark because I felt it was a big mistake, but I know it can happen with everybody. So I try to take attention in everything I do, every activity after this, after that have happened.
How do you feel after just after that experience? How do you feel?
I, at the time, I thought I was going to be fired, but I hadn't been fired, so it's not okay. But I took more attention about the payments after that.
Thank you so much, Fernanda. How about you, Everton? Can you bring some examples?
Yes, yes, no problem. I mean, I think Fernanda was very scary about the situation. For me, the most significant failure in my last job, I try to move in a position. I made all my career in IT. I was a developer and manager and coordinator uh, and working with IT project and schedule and teams and things. And in last company, I try move to a sales area. It's a company who work with IT too, and I try to use my skills in developer and the software to try to sell software and other things to big companies and other things. But I discovered I'm not a great salesman, and it's very difficult because it's very different to try to sell to call and send to call people and send message and try to convince the people to buy your system and other things, and very difficult. I am more I am a guy more shy in my I stay in my corner, and working with IT is more simple, and it's very difficult. And later I come back to IT, and today I work with coordinator again with a big brand, e-commerce with a big brand, and I am more comfortable to return to my area uh, and do my job that I am more comfortable to do.
Thank you so much, Everton. Uh, After the experience that Fernanda has brought to the table, I wanted to talk about one interview that I had a month ago that didn't fail, but I'm gonna talk about a failure that I had when I was working. I think that was my third year working as a as a developer. So I came here to Brazil in 2014 for working for 3 months. At that time, I think that I didn't have a high level in my area. I think that I considered myself as a junior still at that moment. So I was working in a feature that I had to update some data in production environment for our clients. So I forgot to put the word statement in the query. So I deleted or I updated data that I didn't have to. And with that change, any of the clients in the United States in a specific branch, any of them were able to access to the site, and it was so bad experience to me. I had to talk with the database administrator that thankfully was there, right there at my side, because we worked I worked all of the time with Brazilian people, and at that time I was here in Brazil, and the database administrator was over there, and I asked them for help, and he was able to restore the database. He did something magic, and so he restored the database. But then I feel it like Fernanda did at that time. I felt that I was being fired after that mistake that I made, you know. So and then what I learned from that experience was never forget to put the word statement when you are trying to update something in SQL Server, or try to write begin transaction and rollback transaction and something like that. As there are some specific words, but I wanted to express that in the way that are in my mind right now. So yeah, that was so funny to talk about these experiences. So let's move on to the question number two. I'm going to start with you, Everton. How do you typically react when you face failures?
Normally, I try to learn with something about my last failure. For example, when I try to move to sales department, uh, it's interesting. I learned some things about the sell, the company, the clients, and use this to improve my manager or coordinating skills to think more in our client and other things, and try see the good side of the the failure, and use this for improve my skills and try not failure again. But it's very difficult in our area when we work with some many people and many projects is very difficult. But to try don't make it the same mistake, for example, and use this for learn something.
Thank you so much, Everton. Thank you so much for bringing up your insight. And what about you, Fernanda? How do you currently face or react failures?
Mm, I think similar as Everton, I try to learn from these mistakes and understand what I can do better the next time. And that's it. In the past, I used to uh, think so much about these mistakes that I was not able of doing the things right, bad thoughts about it. But nowadays, I try to see with look as a perspective of growth, like as I can grow with these failures and try to not make the same mistake twice. So I think it's better thinking this way. I feel more comfortable. It's better.
I totally agree with that part. I think that failures, as they are, there are a good opportunity to grow if we can see at them in a different way. Normally, we think that failure is something bad. Obviously, it can feel really bad for us in our mind or in our body as well. But we can take that experience for growing, and then maybe make an auto analyze where what we can learn from, and what specific parts or specific parts we can improve. It can be something professional, something personal, and I think that the answer that we just said, we just mentioned it, are related with the question number three. So the question number three goes like this: in what ways can failures be a catalyst for personal growth? What do you think about it, Fernanda?
Okay. I think it can make us get out of our comfort zone sometimes. Because when we are used to do something the same way, normally we don't make mistakes. The mistakes make us like an alert of, oh, you need to improve this part or that part. Uh, and also it's like a new challenges for us for being better people, for improving. So I think in this way it can help us to be better.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you think, Fernanda, it's difficult for some people overcoming failures? Do you think that is at the beginning, or maybe some people handle the situation better, or what do you think about it?
Yes, I think for some people it's really difficult. Uh, I think, for example, for me in the past it was really difficult. I used to keep thinking the mistake over and over for days. um, I see that sometimes when we think a lot about the mistake, we don't try to see with an eye of evaluation, like see what we can improve. We just focus on the mistake. So I think it happened with a lot of people, for sure.
Thanks so much, Fernanda. What about you, Everton? What do you think about the question number three?
I agree with Fernanda. I think we can try to get the mistake, the failure, and analyze and see how I can use this for growth in my personal life, for example, or in our work, and how I can prevent uh, this mistake in other occasion, and create triggers to, oh, in my last job I did something, and it's not okay, it's a failure, it's a mistake, and how I can prevent uh, this mistake. How can you said in your uh, answer, Jimenez? Uh, for example, in database, I you not uh, did update or delete without where, but you can uh, uh, prevent you can prevenir, sorry, and use some rules and database, for example, use a rollback. How can I use a script to test, for example, and other things, and use this to grow and try don't do this again. Something like this. I think is difficult, but I think you can try learn and grow in our personal life with our mistakes.
Thank you so much, Everton. And I have one question for you guys that is not here in the list. Have you ever had the sensation that maybe you failed in something specific in the past, maybe when you were a child or you were a teenager, and maybe you already overcame that, but you think that you didn't overcome that failure? I'm not sure if you got my question, but for example, my wife, she always said that she didn't have a good Portuguese level because for her it was kind of difficult to learn how to speak Portuguese when we came here to Brazil. But in my personal opinion, she's now speaking so well. But she all the time said, "No, I'm not good enough in Portuguese. I'm not good enough." But I can feel that she already overcame that failure. Have you ever had that sensation, maybe that feeling? No?
I I think maybe at the time I was at school, uh, if I could come back, I would talk more like about the when the teacher asks something, or even with my colleagues of the class. I think I would change that. I don't know if it's that exactly the question, but is that what I thought about?
Thank you so much. Maybe that happens with me as well because sometimes when I do interviews, job interviews, I I underestimate I think my skills, and sometimes I get good feedbacks from the recruiters, but I overestimate myself because learning how to write code for me was kind of difficult because I would say that the education level of the university that where I studied was not good. But obviously, it's not all of the fault of them. It was my fault as well. So I was working for too long in the same then in the same company, so I didn't learn a lot of new technologies. But so when I when I give job interviews, sometimes I overestimate myself, underestimate myself, my skills. It's something that happens with me. And what about you, Everton? Do you have any experience? Did you have any experience like that?
Uh, I think something like you said is very difficult to it's very difficult to me to make an interview in other language, for example. I, I like I think my skills very good. I studied a lot and was a developer and other things, but uh, when I go to the interview, for example, it's very difficult because I normally underestimate how you said my skills is very difficult. But one thing I learned in my career and my personal life and the career, it's uh, all the time I can try. I'm not comfortable to do the interview, and oh, no problem. I will go and make a interview. And the bad thing that can happen is you're not okay and you don't go to the next phase or you're not approved in the interview, and try do things to learn more, and it's make me grow in my career and personal life. And I'll always ask for the people, the feedback, and the other things. Because when I was young, I am very shy and don't ask things for my teacher and colleagues, and the other things is very difficult to me. But now when I grow up, I learn it. We need to ask all the things. Don't doesn't matter what you need to ask. Always ask the thing for your your manager and your colleague and your teacher and other person. I don't know if I am clear and ask your your question, but is more or less something like that.
Yeah, I got your point. Thank you so much, Everton. So let's move on to the question number 4. I found this question so interesting. So I'm gonna start with you, Fernanda. Do you think society's view of failure affect our willingness to take risk? Why or why not? What do you think about it?
Yes, I think it affects because sometimes we keep thinking about the others' opinions. So first, sometimes because of it, it's difficult about making mistakes and taking risks. In my case, when I think about uh, uh, talking about my job, my classes, I try to not think about what other people will think because if I think so much about it, I do not post anything, I do not talk about my classes. For example, in the past, even though I'm a teacher of Spanish, I had a little bit of shy posting videos talking in Spanish. I thought, oh, if someone think I'm not so good at this language, I had this kind of shame of myself. But nowadays, I try to think in the of taking some risks to have better results. So I think it can happen because it happens with me sometimes.
Yeah, I think that is so sad. Just thinking that sometimes we stop our dreams just because of the other people, what other people is are gonna think about. I think that it's something totally normal. I think that sometimes we think so much about how they are gonna think, that how what they are gonna say, or what my family is gonna think about my decision, and that's the way that we stop our dreams, or we stop trying to pursue the things that we would like to do for us, or for our family. It's something really sad. I don't know how many dreams were or how many dreams stopped just because of that. And as well, there are some people that seems to be our friends or are in our network, that they are not really there to support us. They are just for criticize us. Everything that we do in the wrong way, they're gonna tell us, "Oh, you are doing it in a wrong way. Why you are doing this?" It's something really something sad, I would say. So that's my point of view about it. What do you think about this question, Everton?
I agree with you. If you both, you are so perfect in your answer, because I think is that all the people judge us in our situation, and it's very difficult to. The most of the time we think, what the Jimenez you will think about my decision if I make a mistake, and the other thing is very difficult. But I am a little old today, and I learned to don't think and the other people will think about my decision, because the people don't know what we what how is our day, how is our past and other things. And I think we learn to exclude the what the other person or the people will think about our life. Something like that is very difficult. But I think this.
I wanted to ask something. Firstly, for you, Fernanda, did you recently stop doing something just for others, maybe for give a bad feedback, or maybe for criticism?
I don't think so. Nothing that I remember now.
It's good. And in the past,
The past, yes, I think maybe the situation I said about the school.
mhm.
Sometimes I knew like the answer of something that the teacher asked, and I thought no, I would not say. I'm not sure if it's right. If someone laugh about my answer, and I never answered anything.
Thank you so much, Fernanda. And what about you, Everton? Have you recently stopped doing something just because maybe you could fail, or maybe for not giving criticism from others?
Uh, Recently not, because I'm learning how I need to be. But when I was young, I stopped to try do something, because I was young and very. uh, very scary, scary. I don't know is the correct, but very scared about the other people will think and stopping. I'm not. I, I will no be the best in the football, for example, and I stopped to play football or other thing, for example. When I was young, I stopped many things to to fear the judgment of the other people.
Something interesting that I found from your answers and from my answer as well is that with the time, the older we get, I think that the best that we can handle this kind of situation, and we stop thinking about others' point of views, even more if there are just criticisms. I think that how we the older we get or the mature we get, the best we can handle this kind of situation. I think something good because I know that there are some people even when they get older or they get more experience, they cannot handle this kind of criticism or they have a life driven by others' opinions. It's something so bad. So let's go to the question number. Let me see here. Uh, let's go to the question number 6. I'm going to start with you, Everton. How can we shift our mindset to see failures as a positive experience? What do you think about it?
Um, I think how we can set. I think we can try the failures or the mistake and use use that to improve and grow our mind and uh, when we use this to grow our mind, for example, I think we grow with we grow in our personal life when we learn how to use this our 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 favor and they use this to grow and I think when when we gain we win more experience we learn how use this to improve and the other things. The topic is very difficult to answer. It's very complicated, but it's good. But it's very cool. The topic.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, this subject, but it's challenging. It's something important to try to improve to increase our vocabulary, for example, right? So I'm gonna answer that question now. So I think that maybe we can, as already said, try to learn from it. Maybe uh, try to figure it out what specific parts of our professional part, as we said, we can improve with that experience. For instance, I'm not sure how many interviews I already did so far because I did a lot of them. So I can say that I failed in a lot of them as well because as you know, I am trying to pursue my dream that is working in another country. So I think that just the that's why as well I felt so many times at that because that kind of interviews are so difficult. So I am pursuing relocation as well. So I think that it's been so difficult just for that reason. Something that I learned from every single interview is try to maybe firstly, I asked the recruiter what were the points, specific point that I failed at and or I need to improve. And every time that I had opportunity to receive that kind of feedback, I get back here in my desk and I try to learn it from scratch. Maybe if it's something new, I have to learn it from scratch. And so I think that's the way that I switch my mind. So I cannot see, I don't see any that kind of failed interviews like a failure. I see that as a good opportunity to grow professionally. And that's the way that I handle that situation nowadays. What about you, Fernanda? What can you bring to the table for about this question?
Uh, I was going to say something like that, Christian, as you mentioned. I think it's important to try to see the failures as an opportunity of improving and getting a better person. Uh, Also, if it's possible, as you already does with the recruiters, ask for some feedbacks from people that are um, even from our family, sometimes for the job of someone from your job, of because it's a way we can take to get better. And I have a question for you. For this, you do like a organization for this applies you does like all this. I did interview for this company this day. You like take some notes about this uh, these opportunities or no? I don't know if my my question
So
was.
so I normally search about the company when I got the interview, when I already scheduled the interview, and I try to contact the hire manager or the hire or the
Mhm.
recruiter who is gonna lead the interview. But I think that is a good idea. Search more about the company, maybe the values, if the values match with your values. Another thing that I normally do as well is try to find the kind of project that I work in, because it's important to know that. But take notes. No, I just read, and if I remember in the interview, I mentioned something about it. But I think that it's important to take notes, because at the last interview that I had, I forgot the name of the company that I give in the
Oh.
interview. So I was finishing the interview and I said, I thank you so much for giving this opportunity to the company. And I freeze like that. I said, what was the name of the company? And they told me it was cool. I don't remember now. Something like cool, blue cool, something like that. I think that is important to know all of that information or have all of that information somewhere. Uh, I think that we have time for answering uh, other one more question. So I'm gonna skip to the question number 9. Okay, I'm gonna start with you, Fernanda. In your opinion, is it possible to fail too often? What are the potential consequences?
Yes, I think it's possible. Um, if I would talk about a personal experience. In my first job, I was an intern of import, I don't know, importação. I used to work in the buying area. So in that time I failed so much at the job, and I don't know how I could work in the companies like 6 months because everything that I used to do I had some fails. I thought it was about I didn't have the experience enough for starting a job. It was my first job, and the process were so difficult. But at that time, but this make the person feel that is not capable of doing the things and feel really bad. So I think these are some of the consequences. And the person need to ask for some help from someone that have more experience, can help with the activities. So I think is this it happened with me for some months, so it's really bad.
I totally agree with that. In my personal opinion as well, it's totally normal to fail too often. I think that we are doing that right now because we are not English native speakers, and I'm sure that we are making a lot of mistakes. So we are uh, frequently making mistakes, and that happened as well in my work. Sometimes I have to write some code, and I do not remember, or I don't know how to write a specific word, kind of codes, line of codes. And I have to go to Stack Overflow to ask to ChatGPT to do something for me. And at that time, I think I am really a good software engineer, and I think that it's something really bad. It's the time where the imposter syndrome hits so strong, so hard here in my life. But I think that it's something normal. I'm not sure if any software developer is able to write all of the code without any helps. I think that it's impossible. Maybe there's some of them over there, but in my personal opinion, it's kind of impossible. What about you, Everton? What do you think about the question number 9? Do you think it's normal to fail often, or and what are the consequences of that?
Yeah, uh, yeah, I think it's normal. I think it's more normal when you start in your career. For example, you stay very anxious or nervous, and it's very difficult to save the information because you are new in your job and try to do your best, but sometimes the anxious or nervous, uh, it's bad for you to and you when I started it with a develop, for example, I frequently forget the codes for how can I use the for, how can I use the while, and forget the sequence and the other things, and try to search in the internet, or see, or reading in a book, and a developer book, and but I think when you are young, it's more frequently, and later you will try to and adapt it. Oh no, I need to write or take notes about this to don't I think we normally learn and create a strategy to don't fail. I don't know is the correct thing, but in our mind, we create this strategy to try don't fail more when the time is it's to go.
Thank you so much, Everton. Guys, to be honest, when I wrote the question, I thought it would be easier to talk about this topic because it's kind of easy to bring your own experience because all of us has failed in the past. But now that I was trying to express my ideas, it was so tricky. But thank you so much for being here, facing this challenge. Uh, so welcome back, guys, to the other room. So I wanted to know from you guys, how was the conversation over there? How was it for you, Sydney?
Yeah, for me, it was perfect. Yeah, because, for example, we exchange our ideas about theater. It's in fact, it's a good, excellent topic, and to discuss, and it's also there is some benefits and the drawbacks about failure. But if some people have, I think, a mindset to understand it and use it in order to growth, I think it could be an excellent tool. And I think Isla and Pedrito enriched a lot that conversation. So it was very interesting. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Sydney. And And what about you, Pedrito? I wanted to know, was it easy to talk about failures in the other room? Because here in the main room, we struggled a lot. So if you can watch the recording video on YouTube, you can see you would see that. How was it for you? Was it easy? Was it kind of difficult? How was it for you?
Yes, I think once some questions are more complicated than others, but we can make this works and share our ideas and our thoughts about something, some questions and some problems we had before, and how we handle it with it. It's so amazing the answers and this the share our for share our thoughts.
Yeah, that's it, Pedrito. Thank you so much. And something that we agreed here in the main room is that failures is something normal, and failures is a good opportunity to grow in a specific part that we need to improve, right? Finally, Ayla, how do you currently handle failure? How do you think? Yeah, how do you currently handle or face this kind of experience that is failure?
Well, in my case, I think I struggle with my failure, especially at my professional setting. So, but as you said, and the other guy said, I think nowadays I can deal with better because I've changed my mind about this failure. I think failure can be useful. We can learn it with them and try again. I think most that there are a lot of people that are successful because they don't they didn't give up when they failed, and I try to think about this.
Yeah, thank you so much for your insights. I totally agree with that part. That when we fail and then we try again, I think that we already won. Just with that act of bravery, I would say. And that's it for today, guys. I just sent to you here in the chat box the survey link. So if you have the time, just fill it up. For it's so useful for me to improve my performance as a host. And that's it for today. Our meeting is it's about finishing, and see you the next time. Thank you so much for being here, and hope to see you in the next immersion. Bye bye, guys.
Thank
Bye bye,
you.
guys. Thank you.
people.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Have a
Bye
great
bye. See ya.